Hey, welcome to the Trapp Stone podcast, the podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
I'm Kyle.
Kyle, have you ever heard of this little thing called a call to action?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so a call to action for those of you...
CTA.
Indeed. For those of
I don't
you...
think that's a thing. I think
No, it is.
Is
It's
it
a
CTA?
CTA, yeah.
I knew it.
I know you knew it. That's
Yeah.
why I said it.
All right.
Yeah. But a CTA, a call to action for all of our listeners, is what we're about to do right now. You ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
We would love it if you support the Trapp Stone podcast.
Incredible.
And all you got to do to support the Trapp Stone podcast is 1, 2, or 3 of the following things.
Yeah.
In whichever order and whichever number you choose.
Right.
You can
Number 1.
tell someone about Trapp Stone.
That's an easy one.
That is an easy one. Just anyone,
Right.
anywhere, at any point, tell them about Trapp Stone.
Right. Number 2.
Rate Trapp Stone wherever it is you get great podcasts like this one.
That's easy too.
It really
A
is.
little click of a button.
Couple stars.
Touch of a finger pad on your screen. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Unless your phone's broken.
In which case it might be
I've heard
bloody.
several people have issues with their phones recently.
Of broken phones?
Yeah.
Well, you can fix that.
Yeah. By buying a new phone.
And Kyle, finally,
Number 3.
you can support the Trapp Stone podcast financially
Right.
through our Patreon pages, patreon.com/TrappandStone.
Yeah. Probably the best one.
Well, I think they're all equally the best one.
Wow.
Yeah. It's one of those kind of deals.
Man.
But the reason that we'd love it if you support Trapp Stone, whether it is financially or whether it is just telling someone about the podcast, is it helps us keep making this for all of our friends.
Yeah. We need that support, you know?
Yeah, indeed.
Little extra banisters, you know, some joists. Keep this sucker above sea level. Thanks for the support.
Okay.
You're welcome for the support on this ad.
Sure. I got a question for you.
What's that?
You want to drink something?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because enough support. Let's get some liquid support.
Okay. Liquid support. I like it.
That's my nickname in college.
No kid.
Yeah.
You're the water boy.
Yes.
Liquid support engineer.
That's
Facilitator.
That's not bad. LSF, Liquid Support Facilitator.
I like it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to facilitate supporting liquids with you. That's kind of a weird way to start that.
Yeah, well, you know, we're kind of weird people.
Well, it does happen.
What kind of liquid support are you providing for us today, facilitator?
Thanks. I have brought for us a beer.
A beer.
From a brewery.
Cool. That's where they get them.
Sure, it's true. A beer from a brewery that we both love.
Yeah.
And that is the Von Trapp Brewery.
Yep.
In Stowe, Vermont.
There you go.
And I know that we're
homers, I think.
I think so.
That's our third episode.
What does that actually mean? Like Simpson? We're homers like Simpson? Or homers like Odyssey and Iliad?
The Iliad. Honestly. Like that homer.
Yeah.
I've always thought like home run, like Homer.
Oh.
But I don't know how that really applies
I don't either.
So you got 3 options. Just use the one that makes sense for you.
Is it something derogatory? Are we saying like derogatory things? We just don't know what it is?
Surely not, because that's a pretty common thing. It could be bad, I suppose.
Can I tell you something?
What's that?
I've never heard that outside of you saying that.
A homer?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
Alabama thing?
Maybe it's an Alabama thing.
Maybe.
Homer. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like how I've always used it as the expression. Like, do you remember how I just used it that way? Oh, yeah. Saying that, are we homers?
Like, we are people who love the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A homer is someone who favors a particular team.
Oh, okay. Like, I am for the home team.
Sure. Yeah. Homers. Yeah, I guess that may be what it is. The homers. Yeah. According to dictionary.com, a homer is a game official, media commentator, reporter, etc., who is biased in favor of the home team.
Oh, okay.
A homer.
A homer.
Are we homers? I think we're homers.
I think we're
Even
homers.
though, you know, it's not our home team.
It's not our, yeah, but I think we're part of the team, though.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're part of the team at this point.
Yeah. Seems that way.
I mean...
And we're biased. We like them.
Oh, we're definitely biased.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so this is all that to say.
In a very roundabout way of saying
we're
big fans.
Exactly. And we've got another beer here that we've not yet tried. In fact, this is one that you and I have not had at all.
Yeah, didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, me neither.
Until you found it.
Exactly. So the other ones we've had when we were up in Vermont. This one, I don't know if it's necessarily a new Von Trapp
A new
beer.
release?
But it definitely is new down here because, well, they've only been distributing to Florida for
A few months now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely new down here.
Yeah.
This is the Trosten.
Trosten.
Yeah, which is German for comfort.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the name of, well, like their smoked dark lager.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Trosten is not a style of beer. The can says dark lager, but Trosten is not a beer style.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Trosten is not
This
a
is just
beer
what
style.
they're calling it.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
A smoked dark beer, like could be a Rausch beer.
Right. Smoky, meaty beers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's exactly what I think that they're trying to achieve here.
Right.
Because like a smoked beer in like the German kind of beer terminology is a Rausch beer.
Right. They can be very
They can
intense.
be. They can be.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, I was like, first of all, new Von Trapp, you're coming with me.
Absolutely.
And I knew that this would be, or at least I thought this would be squarely in our wheelhouse in terms of like, it's the right time for this kind of beer.
Right.
I don't know if I'd necessarily drink a smoked lager in the summer. It doesn't really like scream summer beer to me.
Sure.
I'm not opposed to it, but like it's wintry.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like the right setting for it.
Agreed.
Guess what? We're going to do it.
Let's do it. Yeah. Yodelay-hee-hoo.
Something about an angry goat herd.
I think they're just lonely.
Oh,
But they might be angry because they're lonely. Well done, sir. All right, Trosten in the glass.
Trosten in the glass. So when I got it, I was like, okay, is this the Dunkel that's been smoked?
All right, Smoky Dunkel.
And I've already had a can of this. I gave you a can. I know you haven't had it yet.
Yep.
We're gonna have it together.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. First of all, color motor oil.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost convince me like I just poured you Guinness.
Like it is dark. I mean, I'm holding it up to the light, and I can't see through it. Like it's minimal.
Yeah, like around the edges, you can see a little bit of
So
color, but
dark.
like, yeah, it's just pretty much black coffee.
Oh man,
That's
on the nose.
yeah. So like you saying, what is it, Rausch beer?
Rausch beer, yeah.
Like that's where my head was going, and I've had some that are just like really unctuous,
Yeah.
and like meaty, and
Like smoked meat.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like so like that's where my head was at, and that's not this.
No. I mean, it's
On the
it's
nose,
there.
anyway.
Well, on the nose, it's there slightly.
Yeah,
But
there's
it's-
a little briskety,
Yeah,
kind of thing happening.
exactly that. It's not anything that's like, oh, that's punchy.
Yeah, but like there's still plenty of like classic dark lager notes coming through. Like
For
I still
sure.
say it's prominently that.
Yeah, for sure. You get still like the dark malt. You get the roasty, toasty notes of the toasted malt.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like the caramel, the chocolatey note there.
Yeah, brown sugar, a little coffee.
Oh yeah, but it's then accented by this little pop of smoke on the note.
Yeah, little touch of like barbecue.
Barbecue. Yeah, and it's not peat smoke to me.
Mm-mm.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Cured meat.
Yeah, it's not charcoal, but it's somewhere in that realm.
Yeah, I mean, it literally smells like barbecue to me.
Yeah,
Like pulled pork,
man.
but you're out by the grill, and so like all that smoke, and everything
Correct.
that's around
Correct.
it's still
Yeah.
heavy in the air.
A couple sniffs on the nose there, and that smoke dissipates pretty quickly.
Yeah,
It kind of fades into the background.
yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, I love the way that smells. I love a dark lager anyway, like the notes of just like a dark, just any kind of Dunkel.
Yep.
Yeah, just that like extra layer, and there's some sort of magic that happens. But I agree, it can very easily go, oh, that's too much.
Right.
All right. As much as I love the nose here,
Yeah.
you want to sip it?
Yep.
Let's do
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
It really is. I'm thinking,
Think away.
because I know how much I love the Dunkel.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? Is it the Dunkel that's been smoked?
I could hear an argument for it.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of making an argument for it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a twinge darker than the Dunkel.
That was going to be my, yeah.
You know, it's got a little bit more of a bitter.
It's definitely bitter. I feel like it's heavier. The viscosity is a little bit heavier. The sugary notes are definitely darker. Like the Dunkel to me is, even though it's a dark beer, it's super easy drinking.
Right.
And this adds a little bit more complexity in
Yeah.
all the right ways, but a little bit more complexity.
Yeah, like for me personally, like I feel like what I remember of like the malty nature of the Dunkel is kind of pushed back here, and this like more bitter, it's in a coffee realm, is the more dominant thing here.
Yeah, it's like a sweet bitter
they're
coffee.
similar for sure.
Yeah.
But this one, I feel like the Dunkel has more of a sweet note.
Yeah.
With that malted barley kind of a thing happening. And I just feel like this is way more into that. I think it's just because of the smoke aspect of it, but it's just more of a bitter smoke note.
Yeah. Some of the other Rausch beer and smoked beers that I've had very quickly become, gimmicky might be right, where it's like this is added just for smoke's sake, not for elevation of the beer or complexity of the beer.
Flavor profile.
Right. And I don't think that's what's going on here. To me, it so complements the dark notes that are going on that like, okay, this is obviously purposeful and it adds to that flavor profile.
Right. I've had some Rausch beers where it's just kind of like, like that's too much. You went too far. No, this is like really complimentary.
Yeah.
You know? Delightful.
I think I'm going to take back what I said a couple of minutes ago about like the summery kind of nature of this. Like, yes, it screams to me sitting by a fire, sitting, in the winter months, but it's not heavy. It is heavier than the Dunkel, but it's not like, it's not thick. It's not
right.
Like you don't feel like you've eaten a meal.
Yeah. And it's not what's the
6%?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's got a little bit there.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, but it's certainly not barrel
and that
aged like
sure.
in those thick qualities like that,
right?
Or like a imperial thing. It's still very drinkable,
and I think that's what I found a lot of beers in that same kind of category. Is that it's like okay, it's not just here's this lovely dark toasty roasted malt notes and then smoke. It's here's all those things. And, oh, by the way, let's make it at 12%.
Right.
It's taken the complexity and just pushed it so far that it becomes unenjoyable.
Right.
Whereas this, it's let's up the complexity a little bit and you're welcome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, freaking delightful. Another home run.
For the homers.
For the homers. For the home team. That's fantastic.
Can I pour you some more?
Yeah, you can.
The Trosten.
Yeah, comfort's the right word.
Get out of my head. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very comforting.
And it really is. Like, it's all those things that you love and nothing you don't. It's a little of Austria and a lot of Vermont.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Like, this is perfect, like, post-meal. You want a cup of coffee, but you don't want a cup of coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
This
will do it. Coffee's going to keep you up all night. And, what's the point of decaf? But this is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's going to help you relax, get real comfortable.
What would you pair this with food-wise?
Anything. I mean, I really do. Like, I think it does have enough flavor pop that it could combat anything.
See, I'm leaning like a dark chocolate cake or something like that. Like, I recognize how sweet that tends to be, but I think the smoky nature and the complexity of the sweet would play really well with like a German chocolate cake, but maybe like a Black Forest cake, something like that, like chocolate on chocolate.
See, I think I'd go like creme brulee.
Oh yeah,
or something that's
totally.
Like gonna have like a vanilla sweetness, but not have the bitter quality to it that like dark chocolate would. Because I feel like then they might just, they might snuggle together, But I think I'd throw at a creme brulee.
I'd also think like a blue cheeseburger, like because that blue cheese is gonna be a little funky,
right?
But like,
oh yeah, that funkle poke on right through
for sure. But because of the smoke, like you're gonna get some really cool things going on with like blue cheese funk and smoke and burger.
Yeah,
maybe like a good bacon on that burger.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's where it is.
Side of fries.
Yeah, big old chunky burger for sure.
I'm hungry.
Yep.
Okay,
that sounds good.
We gotta wrap this up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Good on you, Von Trapp. Like, another just home run again.
Yeah, they just don't miss.
No. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Like, that's what I really appreciate about a brewery is that they're doing these styles of beers, like, this Rausch beer style, and they're doing it justice, and it just becomes perfection.
Yeah. I'd be really fascinated to hear, like, what was the process of developing this?
Yeah.
Like, how many different batches did you go through to kind of find the right balance? And was it more of a strategic play to try to keep it so relatable to the Dunkel?
What I think it does is it adds to their flavor profile as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Like you've now got
Yeah, you took on one more step.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You didn't take a leap. You didn't take like a huge, like what you were saying of taking it too far.
Right.
Yeah, just here's the next step.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep. I think you're right to question that because it's clear it's like this is the next step and here's the next logical step and we're going to perfect this step before we move on to something else.
Right.
At least that's what I get out of these cans.
What it appears to be.
Yeah. I want to tease a little bit of something, Kyle. Like we're working with Von Trapp to maybe get them on the pod. Like it's not happening yet.
Right.
Like I don't want to get everyone's hopes up too much.
I mean, we do have a history in Vermont and Vermont people being on the podcast to talk about their products.
That's also true.
Yeah.
There's been some communication back and forth, and hopefully we'll make that happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. Great beer, man.
Thanks.
Good find.
Yeah. And I've got a location that I think I can get it pretty regularly.
Fantastic.
So
I mean, did you look up anything in terms of is this just going to be seasonally?
I did not. No, I did not look
Like
that up.
I'm noticing the snowflake on the can. And just
Oh,
kinda
I didn't even
wondering,
think
like,
of that.
Is this just going to be like a winter offering?
Oh, I see that on the can now.
That'd be unfortunate.
It would
for
be
us.
unfortunate. Sure.
But, at the same time, like I could see that being a wise,
Oh, yeah.
fun thing to do.
Now that you point that out, I bet you it's a seasonal
Yeah,
offer.
it's probably just a
But I'm okay with this season.
winter brew.
Which tells me that means that there will be more seasonal offerings then.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I am for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
Can I get me a Von Trapp Oktoberfest? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
What shall we discuss?
Okay. I did a thing. I did a thing that I haven't done in over 10 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. Actually.
Turn your head and cough?
No, not that. I went and I visited a car dealership.
Oh.
And I purchased a car along with my wife. We purchased a car together.
What a fun experience. Right? No?
No.
Yeah,
no, not really at all.
Yeah. Rarely ever.
Like in the pantheon of experiences that I've had,
Yeah.
it was not the worst experience.
Right.
But it was definitely not the most. I don't want to do it again soon.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to run out and like do this
On the regular.
No,
Yeah.
no. But it just kind of like that whole process got me thinking about. I know we talked about cars. Was it last year, the year before?
Yeah.
It's been a little bit.
Right.
But like I had not had that experience, and I just wanted to talk about purchasing a car because I know you've purchased a car or two in your time.
Sure.
And so I'd like to know like your thought process on like how do you go about doing that versus like I think it'd be interesting to go about my process and I'll kind of tell you like the experience I had. And
let's start there.
Okay.
You had your previous car for a long time.
Yeah. So actually, it was we purchased a new car for Carol. She's had the car that she drove prior to the new one since 2007.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
Yeah, which I got a bit of a story that goes along with that you're gonna just love.
So y'all drove that car for 14 years?
No, longer than that. 2007, 14 would be what 21.
Oh yeah,
22,
so
23, 24, 25. So
18?
18 years.
Woo.
Yeah. So she's had that car for 18 years.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Good on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Good on y'all for making the thing last, getting your value out of it,
Oh,
wringing the value out of it, just every drop.
Yeah. So it was. I mean, it's long overdue at this point, and so like in that respect, I don't feel bad about purchasing a new car.
Sure,
but it's also that like, but here's a chunk of money that we could have saved.
For sure, but like at the same time, would you happen to remember at what point in time did you pay off that car?
The day it was purchased.
Okay, so I mean, y'all have gone a really long time without a car payment on that car.
Yeah. That car was actually a gift from her parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was time.
It was time. Well, and I can tell you, like, when I purchased my car, which I've had since 2012, I purchased it outright.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's also that same kind of thing of, like, you got your money's worth out of this thing.
Right.
I mean, in a perfect world, I'd like it to last another 10 years, but I recognize, like, as often as we use cars here in America anyway,
right?
Because I know, like, there's differences in our wide listenership, how cars function within society. People who are living in smaller communities, like, you may not need a car as often,
right?
But for us, especially here in America, yeah, I mean,
have you clocked it? Like, do you know how far is it from your house to your work location?
mile wise,
Yeah.
I do. I think it's about 12 miles.
Yeah.
Round trip, and very similar to for Carol as well.
Right. For a long time, my wife worked in downtown Orlando.
Yeah.
And that was like a 25 mile, from home to work. In those years, yeah, like we put some mileage on some cars for sure, real quick.
Yeah, and it's easy to do.
Yeah. But at the same time, like I know my mom also just recently purchased a new car. And, the car that she had for, I think we talked about it, I think she had that car for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd only put like maybe 20,000 miles on it or something.
Right.
It's funny, the wide span.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was listening to a whole story. They were talking about the California fires.
Yeah.
And it was just talking about how wide LA is.
Yeah.
How it would be similar to driving from Kissimmee to Lakeland, but it's just all traffic. It's all,
wow.
There is no interstate, like, that cuts through it. It's just that, and it's all city roads all the way. And they're talking about logistically how hard it is to get equipment around and stuff.
Right,
like
yeah,
to get the fire trucks from location to location to do the thing. It's just so hard. Thinking of that, they're saying like, people do it. People make that drive every day, for their work because they can afford a house over here, but they work over there.
Right.
I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine driving from Kissimmee to Lakeland in city traffic.
Stop and go.
Yeah.
Stop and go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's insane. Yeah.
You certainly have places that can have a car, and that car can last you for 20 years
easily
if you want it to.
Yep.
And then you have other places where, if you've got a car, if you can get 5 years out of it, you're going to be lucky.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
So when we made the decision, like, okay, it's time. Did a bit of research. Like she knew kind of the car that she wanted,
mm-hmm.
and me, a sensible, rational person that I am. I did a lot of research, and we went down to the Ferrari dealership. I said, that one, make sure it's red, and that's what we walked out with.
Right. Nope, not candy apple.
I want Ferrari red.
Ferrari red,
yeah. Don't give me that yellow stuff. I want Ferrari red.
Right.
Ferrari red.
Heinz ketchup red.
Well, that's a little too dark.
Because in the garage, you got your Heinz ketchup Ferrari, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile,
and the Planner,
your yellow.
the Planner Nutmobile.
And the Nutmobile.
So, did a fair amount of research, kind of knew what we wanted, and then went to the dealership. And the first place we went to, actually 2 different dealerships.
Yep.
The first place we went, we walked in, they're outside, man. They are
ready to meet you.
They are hawks.
Yep.
Went in there, got scooped up by some dude. He transferred some other dude. The guy knew nothing about the any of the cars. Like literally, like I was asking questions.
What are you doing here, man?
Well, that's what I'm asking questions, and the dude's just reading from the window sticker.
Right.
I'm like,
I could have done that.
Yeah.
Hope you don't get a commission off of this.
Well, he was definitely not getting anything from us.
Right.
Like that decision was made real quick.
Good day, sir.
So went there. They didn't have what we wanted, and they like the guy wouldn't even entertain. Like Carol wanted a couple of different upgrade kind of things, and the guy wouldn't even like. Nah, we can't do that. Okay, cool. Ended up going to another dealership. Got there, scooped up again. This guy was a little bit nicer, knew some things, and played around with some numbers. Kind of ran some scenarios with him, kind of thing, and then we left.
Cool.
Did not buy a car. Then we went back the next day,
right?
And I kind of told that, like, he thought, you missed the sale, whatever. Came back the next day and ended up doing the thing
with what he had told you the day before. Yeah, just kind of like sat on it, thought about it.
Thought about it. Yeah, sat on it, thought about it. Like the upgrades that she wanted to make would actually be easier to make.
Post-purchase?
Yeah, post-purchase. So, like, we kind of went with something that we knew that they had on the lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but, they do the whole runaround. Like, literally, we got there the next day, and I had no sooner opened the car door, and a dude is there behind me. Like, I can't see him, but he's like, hey! I'm like, Jesus, man. Like, and I, like, out loud, I'm like, what the like... And he's like, oh, didn't mean to scare you. I'm like, bullshit. You ran up on me, dude.
How'd you get in my car?
He's like, what brings you in? And like the witty, sarcastic person in me was like, anything but buying a car.
Right.
Say anything to him but buying a car.
Here to have my hemorrhoids looked at.
Right. Man, I got this
Are
tooth.
you Dr. Jimmy?
I got this tooth going on in the back here. Like, you take a look.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think I'm here for, dude? I'm here to buy a car, but I knew the salesman that I, was here for. So I was like, I'm here to see blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, all right. He's inside.
Good luck finding him.
Yeah, that's exactly like basically what he said. He's like, he's inside.
Right.
Cool, man. Thanks. Thanks for scaring me out to death.
You're right. Oh, I'm not getting anything off you guys. All right, cool.
Well, that's exactly what it was. So then, we test drive the thing. He talks us through some stuff. We get to a number. That haggling process, man, like that's such a pain in the ass.
Right.
And like, I'm interested to hear your experience with that as well. The funny part about the whole thing, okay, is after we agree upon a price, like I'm not showing my hand. I'm not like, I want to trade in something. This is what, like, do the whole thing of, now let's get this price down and then I'll talk about my trade in. So get the price down to what I feel comfortable with. And then I'm like, he's like, are you going to trade anything in? I was like, yeah, I think we're going to trade in, the 2007 car.
Right.
He's like, oh, okay. He's like, those usually get about $1,000. I'm like, hell yeah. I don't know if that's reasonable or not, but I feel
that sounds great.
I feel good about that. He's like, well, let's go take a look. I'm like, yeah, everything sounds good. Like, or I was like, yeah, sure. Here's the keys. Go take a look at it. So then dude comes back like 5 minutes later. He's like, hey, he's like, got a question for you. How do you get this car started? I'm like, what? He's like, is there like a, like a funny trick? He's like, like sometimes you got to like kick the bumper and like honk twice or whatever before the car starts. I'm
right.
Like, yeah. He's like, so what's the trick? I was like, no trick. He's like, well, your car doesn't start. I'm like, huh.
Interesting.
So when we got to the dealership, Carol's like, what's that burning smell? I'm like, that's our car, honey. Keep walking. So the car literally took a dump right when we got to the dealership. Like the car was done.
Right.
And like they had to like jump it to get it started. They like moved it up, somewhere else. And they're like, yeah, that car does not sound good. Right. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. But literally, like we drove it there and it was fine.
Right.
Like there was no issues. But like literally the car, like it knew. It was on.
This is my resting place.
And it was like, okay, I'm done. So ultimately, we ended up getting like $500 or $600 out of it. I'm like, cool.
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? That's obviously my most recent car buying experience. What has your car buying experience been like? Do you do a lot of research?
Nope. We don't do any research. We've always just gone to a box store.
Yeah.
Like
Walmart.
CarMax.
Just show up to Walmart. Like, we'll take that one.
Well, I mean, it's more or less that.
What?
We just walk up to the dealership. They're not even a dealership. It's CarMax. I don't even know what you call it.
I honestly have no context for what CarMax is. Like, I know it exists, but like I don't know.
I mean, it's just a big. They've got everything. It's not loyal to a brand as far as I know of.
Right.
But we've always just gone to it because they advertise it. It's no haggle pricing. Like it's just what it is on the thing. If you're comfortable with that, that's the price. And so there's none of that. Like, so we always get pre-approved for a certain amount through the bank, and we go and whatever they've got there that day, like we pick out what they've got.
What?
And we purchase that car and then we drive away with it. Like, it's a long process. You're there all day.
Yeah.
But that's it. We've never done any kind of research. We've never gone into a situation of like, I want this car. We're going to try to find that car. And I think it's just because we don't really care.
Yeah.
So much. Like there's not
I'm not a car person either, but like zero research. Like what y'all got?
Yeah. That's just obviously my naiveness, I guess, just in terms of but at the same time, it just doesn't interest me. I'm not,
yeah.
It's just a vehicle, It's just going to get me from A to B kind of a thing. So there's not really a whole lot of research that I need to do into it.
But you're putting a lot of trust in CarMax of not that they're not going to give you a piece of shit car, but is that a fair price for this car? Is that is the mileage on this car? Because CarMax is all used cars, pre-owned, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
Or it could be rental cars that
right.
that have no miles on them.
Am I getting a good deal on this car?
1,000%. It is just kind of a trusting thing. Just the way we've always done it.
I am amazed. I feel like you'd said this before when we did the car episode.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. It's funny. Y'all just did your thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, my mom just recently got a new car. My sister just recently got a new car. Nobody does it like we do it. I know that I'm well aware that we're not doing it the right way, But it's just it hasn't failed us at this point.
Yeah.
And so that's just what we've always done. That's been the last 3 car purchases that we've made.
I don't know if there's a right or wrong way, because like I think that bad things can happen regardless. But,
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to tell you though, like I'm shocked, but I'm also a bit envious of like, yeah, just whatever's here is whatever's here. But like I think I'm also a bit picky. No, I'm definitely picky. Like, no, this is the color I want. This is what I want inside of it. So like you walk in.
we kind of go in with those kind of things too.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you have it, great. But if you don't, not really a deal breaker.
So like we've got the car you want, but it's bubblegum pink.
No, that would probably be a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, okay, we're going to keep looking then. It's a huge place.
Right.
Like they're going to have something. And that's just kind of like our take on it.
So in a place like that, do you kind of like walk up and you're like, all right, here's our price range? Or you're like, we're looking for a hatchback. We're looking for, y'all got any Ferraris in the back? Like,
Yeah, I think the concept more or less, it's the same thing like what you were saying. Like you walk up and there's somebody there to meet you as you get out of the car. Not quite that bad. Like as you walk into the lobby or whatever, there's somebody there ready to start the whole process with you and escort you through this whole event.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it just kind of more or less starts out with like a we'd like an
brings you in
SUV
today?
or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And here's our price range. Like what do you have in that realm?
Man.
Or you just kind of say like we're looking for an SUV. They'll take you out to that section, and then you just walk up and down the aisles, and same thing. Like they got everything in the window, so you just kind of can see into it and stuff like that. Most everything's unlocked. Occasionally there's not though. I mean, sometimes you have to ask somebody to come out, but yeah, and just that's not in our price range. Keep going.
Wow.
That one is. It looks good. Let's test drive that. Cool. Drives great. We'll take it.
Okay, that's my next question about a test drive. Okay, because what we did is we bought a brand new car, and so our test drive was like literally like I don't know a 2-block kind of loop. So
yeah, you're not really.
I was gonna say like what can you learn?
Yeah, nothing really. I don't think. I mean, it's more or less just kind of like a.
Does this feel good?
Yeah. Do I like that the way it feels, kind of a thing?
Yeah.
But yeah, the same thing. Like out there, like they just have you kind of go around this like big loop, and like you don't even get it up to like 40 miles an hour. You could hit 60, and all of a sudden there's a bad shutter. You wouldn't know.
You would know.
But like they've got that kind of guarantee of like if you don't like it in so long, bring it back.
I think most car dealers now are like 72 hours or 48 hours, something like that. Like you don't like to bring it back,
right?
But ooh,
yeah.
So then like y'all bag it up. Let's go.
Yep.
And then just
7 hours later, you got yourself a new car.
Our process was not quite that long, but it felt like that long.
Yeah. I suppose like, how long were you there the day before?
Maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe.
Like, so
maybe not even that.
I think that's probably like the difference for us. Like we just do it all in one shot.
Yeah.
We take it in, here's our car. So then they have to go through the appraisal of that and figuring out the trade-in value and all that kind of stuff, and then communication with the banks and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a day.
I don't think this is the right question, but like, do you enjoy that process, or is it like
hate it?
Oh, okay.
Hate every bit of it. And I think that's probably part of why we do it the way that we do it.
Yeah.
We just like, okay, like we need a new car. Let's go get it. And like usually by the time that we need a new car, like we need a new car.
Right.
Like it's not like oh yeah, no, we could probably still drive this one for a little bit longer. No, we're usually like same way of like we can get it there. There's no guarantee of what's going to happen to it after that. Sure. So it is kind of like, well, we got to get something today. Right. Last experience that we had, like we saw one that we really wanted, but it wasn't going to be available for like 2 more days. So we were just like, bummer. We're not getting that one.
I'd be like, I'll rent a car for 2 days. That's fine. Because that's the one I really want.
Nah. Wow. Yeah. I think it's just like a different perspective on on cars,
for sure. Yeah.
Like it's just not that. That's not that kind of a thing that I put a whole lot of thought into.
Yeah, like I don't feel like my car is like part of my identity.
Right.
Like I know that is for a lot of people. Like I need this thing because that's who I am. I'm a truck guy. Or
right.
I'm a whatever person.
Right.
I don't feel like that, but I want to know that like the thing that I'm getting like is going to be good for the purposes that I want it for. You know what I mean? Like not just point A to point B, but like, is it comfortable? Is it reliable? Things like that.
Right.
So like for me, that's kind of the research process of like, is this something that I feel comfortable spending this many thousands of dollars on? The answer is always no, because I'm never comfortable spending that many thousands of dollars, but like reasonably, you know what I mean? I find like the process just, and only because I've done it for myself once and then now this is the second time, like just fascinating.
Yeah.
And like, I know that there are people, I mean, like yourself, you've done it several times, but I know just from being in that dealership for a couple hours, I know that there are people who are doing this every year. Like there are people who are literally like, whether
they'll either be like a lease.
Oh yeah.
Or something.
Like absolutely not. Like I want to avoid this scenario as much as possible.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you got anything else?
I don't think so.
I'm all out of beer.
Yeah, same.
I'm all out of beer. So lost without you.
I'm right here.
Huh?
I'm right here.
You are right there.
Yep.
It's not the beer. It's you. You're right. You're right. There's more in the fridge though. If you want to go grab
Okay.
more.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, we would love to know, what do you think about Von Trapp Brewing as a whole and the amazing Trosten?
Yeah. If you've had the absolute pleasure to have that, let us know.
Oh yeah.
Because you're a lucky individual.
And let them know that you heard about Von Trapp on Dreppenstone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We'd also love to know, what do you think about buying a car?
Yeah. What's your favorite part of it?
The way you said
all
favorite.
of it. Just the whole experience. Just
Yeah,
one great day.
I'll do it every day.
Yeah.
Could you? I could never be a car salesman. I could not go through that same. I know it's different on their end. I couldn't do that process every day. No way.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's another one of those things of, just because I know that they do work off of commission.
Yeah.
That it takes, I feel like, the genuine interaction away.
Yeah.
And it becomes something tainted.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
For
so
sure.
It's like, I know that you're trying to push a thing on me.
Yep.
And
yeah.
you know, like,
well,
it's just
that's what I told Carol going into it. I was like, she's like, oh, well, you know, you don't have to be rude. I'm like, I'm not going to be rude, but you need to know that these people are not our friends. They want to take us for as much as they can, and that creates an adversarial nature.
Right.
Initially. And I hate that, but like, this is where we are.
Yeah.
So I could not do that.
Right.
Well, you can get in touch with us through email. It's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
It's always one word, Drepp and Stone. DREP and Stone. Find us, like us, comment on a thing, share a thing, and hey, we'd appreciate all your things.
And like we said at the top of the episode, we love it if you support the podcast. You know how to do it. Just go ahead and go do it.
Yeah. You're a modern person living in the age of technology. Just do that thing for us.
Just ask ChatGPT to do it for you. And, you know, we don't really care.
Alexa, like Drepp and Stone.
Done. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
And your ass never show. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Cute beer cheers.